Imagine stepping out of your apartment in the heart of a major US city, ready to grab a simple item like a loaf of bread or a bottle of water, only to find every nearby store shuttered. You check your phone to place an online order, but the app shows items are out of stock. Or worse, you've been scammed before and don't want to risk it again. This isn't a futuristic dystopia. This is the reality for millions of Americans in 2025. In this in-depth look, we'll explore the top 10 US cities where brick-and-mortar retail has collapsed, and even online shopping is unreliable. Whether it's due to rampant petty crime, skyrocketing rents, labor shortages, or supply chain chaos, these cities are becoming modern consumer deserts. Let's start with the first city on the list. 1. Portland, Oregon. Portland was once celebrated for its quirky small businesses, cozy bookstores, and thriving independent retail scene. But by mid-2025, downtown Portland is a retail ghost town. According to the Portland Business Alliance, retail storefront occupancy in the central business district has dropped to just 53%, compared to over 90% pre-2020. Over 300 retail businesses have shut down since the pandemic. The reasons? An unrelenting rise in petty theft, homelessness, and a lack of police intervention. Walgreens, REI, and Nike have closed flagship stores in the area. One longtime business owner told Oregon Public Broadcasting, "I wasn't losing money, but I couldn't keep paying for broken windows and stolen inventory." For residents without cars, buying essentials now requires a 20 to 30-minute drive. And for the elderly or disabled, that's simply not an option. Local nonprofits have stepped in with mobile delivery services, but those aren't scalable solutions. The digital option isn't much better. Scammers are taking advantage of Portland's retail vacuum by creating fake websites targeting residents looking for necessities. As online fraud increases, consumer confidence plummets. 2. Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland's East Side neighborhoods have turned into modern consumer deserts. The Greater Cleveland Food Bank reports that over 22% of Cleveland residents now live in areas with no access to a full-service grocery store within 5 miles. This collapse of local retail has pushed more people online, but that hasn't helped either. According to the FBI's 2024 Internet Crime Report, Ohio ranks among the top 10 states for online shopping scams, with Cleveland being a hotspot. Elderly citizens are particularly vulnerable. In 2024 alone, 37% of online fraud cases in the state involved residents over 60 years old. Worse, many Cleveland residents lack reliable internet access or digital literacy skills. The city has launched community tech hubs to teach residents how to shop online safely, but with mixed results. People are still being duped by shady sellers on social platforms like Facebook Marketplace, a common scam. Sellers ask for upfront payments via Zelle or Cash App and disappear. 3. New Orleans, Louisiana. Tourism is the lifeblood of New Orleans. But what happens when the city can't even provide sunscreen or cold medicine to its 19 million annual visitors? Between 2023 and 2025, Walgreens closed 17 locations in the downtown area. CVS and Rite Aid followed suit, citing persistent theft and security concerns. The New Orleans Downtown Development District reported a 35% drop in retail availability in the French Quarter alone. Even hotel concierges now advise tourists to take Uber rides to suburban grocery stores for basic needs. Local residents are even worse off. A Pew Research survey from early 2025 found that 48% of New Orleans residents rely on online shopping for daily goods. Yet nearly 1 in 4 had experienced order fraud or undelivered packages in the past year. Small community efforts are helping. Local churches and neighborhood groups are setting up co-op buying programs and pop-up markets. But without a coordinated citywide effort, it's not enough to restore consumer trust. 4. San Jose, California. San Jose, the capital of Silicon Valley, might seem like the last place where people would struggle to shop. But even in this tech-rich city, the retail situation is dire. According to the Mercury News, downtown San Jose has seen a 38% drop in active retail storefronts since 2020. Walmart, Target, and several major pharmacy chains have shuttered locations, citing unsustainable losses from theft and rising operational costs. In a city that created Amazon's logistics infrastructure, many elderly residents find themselves unable to place online orders due to lack of digital skills. A 2025 report from the Silicon Valley Community Foundation found that 41% of San Jose residents over age 65 had no consistent access to digital delivery services. The problem isn't access to technology, it's usability. Most seniors don't know how to navigate two-factor authentication or track an order through multiple apps. Community centers have begun offering training on safe e-commerce practices, but the demand far outpaces resources. As San Jose becomes more high-tech, it's ironically becoming less accessible to its own aging population. 5. Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson holds the unfortunate title of being the city with the highest percentage of residents living in a food desert, according to the USDA. When Walmart closed its last major location in 2023, thousands of residents lost access to affordable groceries and household goods. Transportation is a major barrier. The city has limited public transit, and many elderly or low-income residents can't travel 30 miles round trip to the nearest supermarket. Online shopping? That's another hurdle. According to Pew Research, 58% of Jackson seniors feel unsafe shopping online due to scams and lack of trust. Several nonprofits have started mobile markets, but they only serve limited areas on certain days. Some residents now rely on food pantries not out of poverty, but out of geographic isolation. Jackson is in urgent need of policy intervention and investment in community-based retail solutions. 6. Chicago, Illinois. Chicago's retail crash has been both visible and devastating. Between 2021 and 2024, over 600 retail stores closed across the city, with the south and west sides hit hardest. Walgreens closed 5 stores in Englewood alone, citing crime and unsustainable operations. Residents now report traveling up to 45 minutes just to find a reliable grocery store. Online shopping isn't the answer either. According to the Chicago Retail Report, the city has a 41% higher rate of online fraud than the national average. Community initiatives have launched pop-up markets at churches and libraries, but they aren't a substitute for full-service grocery and pharmacy access. The lack of dependable retail is creating a ripple effect on health, nutrition, and community stability. 7. Albuquerque, New Mexico. Albuquerque has become one of the most underserved urban markets in the country. According to a report from New Mexico Voices for Children, 1 in 4 households now live in a retail desert. Walmart, Family Dollar, and several grocery stores have closed locations due to theft, staffing shortages, and declining profits. Even Amazon Prime can't guarantee next-day delivery in zip codes like 87,001-2001. Delays of up to 7 days are common. Community Facebook groups and nonprofits have started mutual aid markets where residents share food, diapers, and medicine. But these initiatives are band-aids. They don't fix the broken system. 8. Seattle, Washington. Seattle is home to Amazon and Microsoft. Yet in 2025, it's also home to thousands of residents who can't access reliable retail. Amazon Go stores have closed in bulk across the city. According to GeekWire, over 70% of them were shut down due to low profitability. A Pew Research Center survey shows that 38% of Seattle residents over 60 struggle with digital literacy, meaning they can't access the very online tools created in their own backyard. Meanwhile, 60% of mom-and-pop stores have closed since 2020. The tech boom created wealth, but it left behind seniors and low-income families who don't know how to use a QR code or place an order via Alexa. But the city still has a long way to go to close the gap between digital innovation and daily survival. 9. Detroit, Michigan. Detroit has seen retail closures at an alarming rate. According to the University of Michigan, 52% of new convenience stores opened in the last 5 years have already closed. Petty theft, low foot traffic, and reduced spending power have created a negative feedback loop. No stores mean fewer jobs, which leads to even less spending. Meanwhile, online options are limited by poor digital infrastructure in many neighborhoods. A study from Detroit Future City reports that 1 in 3 Detroit residents lack access to high-speed internet. This makes reliable online shopping nearly impossible. People who once walked to a corner store now take 2 buses and spend hours shopping for essentials. Community groups are launching mobile mini-markets and neighborhood hubs. Detroit will continue struggling to meet its own residents' basic consumer needs. 10. San Francisco, California. San Francisco is the richest city on this list, but it's also facing one of the worst retail crises. In the last 2 years, Nordstrom, Whole Foods, and over 20 other major brands have left the downtown area. The retail vacancy rate hit 24.1% in early 2025, the highest in the city's history. Even residents in million-dollar apartments are now ordering dish soap from Nevada because there are no nearby stores. A local survey found that 60% of downtown San Francisco residents have to travel more than 30 minutes for basic goods. Ironically, the city is overflowing with delivery apps and e-commerce tools, but many older or disabled residents aren't equipped to navigate digital ordering systems. In some neighborhoods, nonprofit-run mini-markets are stepping in, but the scale of the collapse is massive. If San Francisco can't solve this crisis, what hope is there for less wealthy cities? These 10 cities show that America's retail landscape is undergoing a dramatic shift, one that's leaving millions of people behind. Whether due to crime, economics, or digital barriers, the ability to shop is no longer a guarantee in 2025. From Portland to San Francisco, cities are waking up to the reality that technology cannot replace everything. Basic shopping, access to food, medicine, and daily necessities is a human need, not a luxury. If your city still has reliable stores, support them. If not, speak up, share your story, demand solutions. Because when people can't shop, communities can't thrive.